Hello and good evening. Thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight. We are in the company of Charlie Lawson, a well-known face on our TV screens over the last number of years. So looking forward to certainly spending time with Charlie tonight. Thank you again for joining us again as always, and we continue to ask you to engage with us tonight in regard to questions. I will do my utmost to try and get as many out as I can. Can I just thank you as well for bouncing on over the last few days on our YouTube channel? It's been really good. And I know a lot of guys have been emailing us personally, complimenting us on that. So just want to say a big shout out to Dave. Dave has been working away in the background, my media guy, and he's been absolutely fantastic in what he's done. And all the graphics that you see appear on social media, it's all down to his good work. So I just want to thank Dave for all of that. So yeah, Charlie will be bouncing on very soon in his sunny. And Charlie Lawson, how are you, pal?
What about you, mate? How you doing? All right?
We're good. We've had many chats, Charlie, but not in this type of environment, mate.
Well, no, nothing like this, Brian. And thank you very much. It's a great idea, actually, because we've all got to do something, and you know, this you're keeping the business going because we have to do this, and let's hope people enjoy it. We'll have a wee natter.
Yeah, no, look, Charlie, it was something that, to be fair, we've been asked for a long time about potentially bouncing into, and you know yourself, I don't really sleep that much, Charlie. You know what I mean? I'm sort of a bit busy with a mountain of stuff, so we just thought, you know what, we'll do a few and see where it goes. People seem to be enjoying it. You know what I mean? Have a bit of fun.
I mean, I've been doing stuff over the last 2 weeks, as you know, we'll get to my industries and shreds. So we're doing a lot of sort of stuff like this, which is paid work. Some of it, you know, which is absolutely brilliant. But it, you know, as I say, we'll touch on it later, no doubt. But the industry is struggling. So the more of this profile stuff you do, it's all good. It's all good, and it's good for you know, it's good for Epic and all that sort of carry on. You know.
Yeah. No, look, it's just again, it's just trying to find ways, mate, just to be active out there. But no, look, it's really appreciate you bouncing on, Charlie. You know, we've been in each other's company for a few years now, and I've always found you the same way, mate. Which is probably the biggest compliment I could pay you, mate. You know, and the kind heart that you have, I see it. And obviously, Charlie, for you in terms of you know, in a skill, you know, where it all started, and I know Northern Ireland is a special place in your heart. It's when you come home, Charlie, you love coming home, and any opportunity you get home.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would be there now, Brian. We'd be doing this face to face or whatever. But as you know, well, the first thing happened was Flybe. God bless it, and you know, commiserations to everybody who lost their job. But I mean, we had already got our sort of 12, 13 flights booked and hotels and all that lot, you know, to come home. And of course, all that went by the wayside. We're now meant to be on the 13th of June going back to, we go sort of every 2 years, we go back to Lough Erne. We take a cruise route from the Manor House Hotel. And of course, it's non-essential travel. So that's not going to be happening this year. Certainly not in June. I would expect they'll accommodate us. And so we should be back on the lake and certainly back in Belfast, back in Northern Ireland, I would say in July. Got to be, because I haven't been there since bloody February, and it's driving me nuts.
We'll have to get for a wee spot of lunch then, mate. Big time.
Absolutely.
Big time. The ladies will enjoy that. And obviously, Charlie, you know, 20 years of age, you go across to London to effectively learn your trade. Was it from a young age, Charlie, that you always felt a hunger and a desire to go into the acting business, mate?
Well, the truth of the matter is, I was a bad boy at school, and one of the reasons
I don't believe that for 1 minute.
I was quite a nice bad boy, but nevertheless, I was a naughty boy, and so one of the things that used to happen to me was, as a punishment, I was stopped from playing all sport, and as you know, Campbell and Cavan Hill were very sporting orientated places to go, and very lucky we were too. And I was, one of the punishments for God knows, I can't remember, something to do with brewing beer, I think, I can't remember. But anyway, I was made to join every society for a year, and that includes, I mean, everything. And one of them was the Dramatic Society, and I found out that I wasn't half bad at it, you know. But I mean, really, there was a sort of a 2-year gap before I ended up at drama school, because I ended up being a hotel groundsman up in Scotland, getting into all sorts of bother. And then I wanted to go try and be a Royal Marine, That was one of the ideas, and then, but a teacher called Robert Freeburn, who taught me at Campbell, said, "What are you playing at, for God's sake? Try and be an actor. You can do this." So that was it. I just sort of auditioned for drama school, got into 2 of them, and the rest is history, as they say. So it wasn't by accident, but it was very a touch of good fortune.
Yeah. Danny Hagan is texting tonight. Danny, thanks for your text tonight. Charlie, who was the best actor, Charlie, that you performed with, and looking back over your incredible career to date, mate?
I think one of the most extraordinary actors I ever worked with was Gary Oldman. And it was before Gary had just done. It was in a film called The Firm, which is a very famous sort of movie about the first and only original movie about football hooliganism. And I think it was about 1985.
I remember it well, actually.
Yeah,
The Firm. I've watched it. Yeah.
Gary hadn't been to Hollywood yet, but he wasn't. He'd just done Sid and Nancy, the movie about Sid Vicious, and he was very, very flavour of the month on screen. And I was fortunate enough to do a lot of work with Gary, and he was extraordinary. And it was obvious that he was going to go on to become one of Britain's finest actors, as indeed he has. An extraordinary career. I just watched him playing Churchill there the other day, and it's absolutely mighty performance, and I think he won the Oscar for it, and deservedly so. So I would say I've worked with some brilliant people over the years, but if you're asking me to pick one out the hat, then it's a wee bit unfair, Danny, to the rest of them, but Gary was a bit special.
Yeah, Danny's actually just asked as well, Charlie, Betty Shaw, is that a lady familiar? Lady who used to work in Campbell College? No?
Do you know, what did she do, Danny? That's there was quite a bit of staff, and
could have been.
I bump into people who were maids there and worked in the cafeteria and stuff, and they're very, very kind, and one of them came up to me and said, "I'll never forget you, Charlie. You gave me a number 6 in one of the bushes, so you did." And that's a cigarette, by the way.
Oh, I remember walking into the Europa with you one night, Charlie, and I tell you, there was a swamp for you, mate. A swamp. I'd never seen the like of it. Absolutely, but it's just a testament to the popularity that you have when you come home, Charlie. And because obviously before we obviously press into the Cornation Street, Charlie, some of the bits of work that that you can look back on your career, Bread, you're in The Bill, is there anything specifically stands out to you that you did star and you can say, you know what, that's something that I really loved? Obviously, I'm sure the Cornation Street was something that's very close to your heart because of the length of time that you're in it and still in it. The character Jim McDonald's still in it. But is there anything else outside of that you look back on that was something that, just a special period of acting?
I think it's a huge question. I'll do my best. Look, one of the things I'm most proud of, and I hope it hits a note with whatever communities or everybody back home. I remember I was at drama school and I got my equity card and what have you, and I was approached by Hull Truck, which was a very, very famous theatre company. And Peter Sheridan had just written Diary of a Hunger Strike, and I did the original production with John Keegan, God rest his soul. And it was groundbreaking stuff. Very difficult for me to decide to do, Brian, coming from my background. I mean, my dad was most perturbed about the whole thing, but I was still at drama school, and they allowed me to go and do that. And it was the original production, and I'm very proud of that. And it allowed me to explore things that I would never have explored before, and it was also extremely difficult. I mean, we were bollock naked for 2.5 hours on the stage. As you know, it was about Bobby Sands and his cellmate. That was and Lord Gowrie and the negotiations through the hunger strike and the lack of and all that. And so I'm proud of that. And not many people know that I did that, but I did that. And then latterly, I did the world premiere of Inspector Rebus in 2018. Ian,
I remember it well.
Yeah, Ian created he'd never seen the 3-dimensional character, so to speak. He'd just written 28 books or whatever. So this was a chance to play Rebus in the world premiere on stage, which I'm very, very proud of. It was 108 pages, and I was in 108 of them. But it was. I'm very proud of it, and I kept in touch with Ian, and he's a good pal. So those are two.
And ultimately, Charlie, as well, like the life of an actor, probably something that we don't really maybe see up close. The hours, and it must just be the duration of work must be completely tireless at times. Continually filming. Would that be correct?
It can be.
Yeah.
It can. I mean, I remember there was a couple of years in Corrie where Bev and I were never really off. We ended up doing about 170 episodes or something a year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but believe me, it is.
Yeah.
But normally Corrie is quite easy, especially for me, because working with Bev's a piece of cake. We just hit it off, boom, boom, boom. It's easy peasy. And being an actor actually is a joy, and it's not a trial at all. It's great fun, and it's by and large money for old rope. You know what I mean? It's really not difficult to do. I mean, I did the bill about 5 times. It's really not that hard. Or Casualty or Holby City. You turn up, you get the script, you hit your marks, and get on with it. You know what I mean? We're very, very lucky. And then sometimes, I mean, this one man here, Brian, this was a very significant part in my life, because, as you know, I had a TIA during the which we can touch on if you wish. So it's a very important part of my life. But basically, being an actor is a joy, and it's great crack. It's not like working on the front line in the NHS or whatever,
Yeah, no, yeah. But again, it's still a shift that needs to be put in, and ultimately to get you to the level you've obviously achieved, Charlie. And without taking anything away from what you have achieved. Sarah has texted in, "Hey Charlie, huge fan of you and Corrie. Was there any particular scene that you enjoyed playing during your time in Cornation Street, compared to many others?" Thank you for that, Sarah, tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. Difficult one. I mean, I did 11 years, and then I've been back about 11 years on the bounce, and I've been back about 9 times over the years. Look, I enjoyed. I couldn't pick a scene out. Although I discovered YouTube, only about 2 or 3 years ago, and I loved all the Jim McDonald wheelchair stuff, because any actor who tells you they don't like, you know what I mean? It's an absolute gift. It's lovely to be bitter and twisted and upset and angry in a wheelchair. And please don't take that the wrong way, folks. I can only imagine what that is like. So, I mean, I was acting, for goodness sake. But I think that storyline was great. And there was a scene where Maud Grimes, who was in a wheelchair, lovely Elizabeth Bradley, played Maud Grimes. And she has a scene with Jim about him being bitter and angry and whatever. And in those days, you used to get 10-minute scenes. I mean, that's unheard of now in Corrie, because there's so many bloody actors in it. You know what I mean? But in those days, there was time for stuff, and I caught that the other day on YouTube. I found it, and it was a very good scene. But a lot of the stuff was very good. I was very lucky, Brian. They wrote well for me.
Yeah, well, certainly Jim and Liz were on many TV screens on during the week. Charlie, there's no doubt about it. So, and obviously we touched on it off screen there. Charlie as well. Jim McDonald is still very much. He's still part of the set. You know what I mean? Could that be an opportunity potentially ever coming back on screen again?
Well, it's largely that is. Look, I would be lying if I said I wouldn't, because I would. I'd bite their arm off, because we live in a lovely wee village about 25 miles out of Manchester in Cheshire, and I can get home every night, and that becomes very important, and I like to get back to Debbie and home. So I go there. They recompense me very well, because I'm on the old contract. They've always looked after me, Granada. So, I'd go back. But that's down to the writers. I can't, I have a relationship with Ian, the current producer, but it's really not down to us. It's to do with the writers. I mean, like I said before, I could pick up the Sunday Mirror or whatever and just see a story saying Jim's died in Australia or something. It's just the way it is. It's just a job. You have to get on with it.
100%. Martin McDowell, thanks for texting tonight. Jim, obviously, who's your favourite actor or actress on Cornation Street? Thanks for that, Martin. Martin also passed comment earlier on. Charlie, you were looking well tonight, quite fresh, mate. So,
thanks. I'm good. I'm good. I'm enjoying the sunshine like everybody. I just wish I'm getting my brain starting to turn to mush now. I want to work. But anyway, look, it's an obvious one, and it's I enjoyed working with Sarah Lancashire very, very much. Peter Armitage, who played Bill, Webster was a great friend of mine. I loved working with him. But I mean, obviously, Bev and I, we just hit it off. We were extremely lucky. I was talking about this in an interview the other day. We got cast, and thank the Lord, we hit it off, and we were very good, and we bounced off each other. So, and she was a joy to work with, and she was very patient with me because we both worked in totally different ways. So you know, I couldn't go much further than Bev, really. You know what I mean? But sure, there's a lot of good folk in there over the years. You know, worked with a lot of people over the years. So you know, and Simon was always obviously you know, a joy to work with and great fun. The trouble is with me and Simon is when we get together, we don't have laugh our nuts off. You know what I mean?
No.
So it's
I can imagine, mate. I can imagine, rightly. To be fair, just staying on that, Louise's text in, Charlie. In terms of Cornation Street, who did you become probably most closest to on the set, or is the industry that cutthroat and competitive that it's maybe quite difficult? You know what I mean, to maybe make friendships where maybe some characters come and go, and you know what I mean? Is it more the folk that sort of way, was there a wee bit more stability?
I was and still am, very close to Philip Middlemas, who played Des Barnes. We were very, very good mates, and we ripped up Manchester a fair deal together. But you know, Philip and I are very close. Simon and I are pretty much inseparable. Who plays Steve, obviously. And I was close to Sarah Lancashire and Peter Armitage, like I say. You know, and but you know, people say to me, I mean, I hardly see Beverly. You know, because we just have separate lives. We adore each other, love each other deeply, but we lived in each other's pockets for a long time. So we don't feel a need to have that. Do you know what I mean? We just don't. Yeah. You know, we'd go our separate ways. I've got Debbie, and you know, she's got her family and all the rest of it. So you know, but
it becomes very much just a job, really, mate.
Well, you have to treat it like that.
Yeah, of course,
your head will go.
Yeah. Wayne, your thanks for texting tonight. Charlie, would you love to go back into soaps again, and ultimately, who would you pick as the next Northern Ireland manager? Obviously, Charlie, Northern Ireland. You know, you're an avid Northern Ireland fan, and no doubt you're watching the current situation with very closely in terms of who the new man at the helm will be.
I don't know, but do you know what? I watched Sammy McElroy doing a great job at Macclesfield many years ago. You know, he's Northern Irish through and through, and I think that's. You know, that's what we want. That's what we seem to buzz off. But I don't even know who's up front, Brian. I mean, who's on the table?
The 21s manager Barclough seems to be, and obviously Stevie Robinson and that. You know, some few very, very good, you know, almost candidates at the minute. You know, but there's no doubt about it. Certainly, Michael has left him, and you know, with fantastic. To play with the squad that he has, you know, but it's certainly going to be he's going to be missed. But what a heck of a job he did, man. Powerful.
Oh no, it was brilliant, and
you know,
also great for Northern Ireland as well. You know what I mean? It was I was all set to go off to the Euros, and then of course I got a bloody job, and in my game you can't turn work down to go and watch football. You know. And it was all right for Nesbitt. He was rich enough. You know what I mean?
No, that's the thing. Tell me, do you see much of him? Do you?
I don't really see Jimmy at all. You know what I mean? That's not for any personal reasons at all. You know, we just don't bump into each other. I would see a lot more of Dunbar. You know what I mean? Eddie, I've known Eddie. I was at drama school with Eddie. So that's
because I meant to ask you about that earlier. Obviously, before we get on to when you got to London, but obviously he was there when you got there.
Oh,
yeah.
He was a year below me, so I went, and then Eddie arrived, and obviously, you know, we hit it off straight away, and we've been like brothers ever since. And his year was also Neil Morrissey was in there, so Neil and I are very close, and Eddie are, you know, three of us are very close. In fact, we had, before this bloody lockdown, we had a lovely dinner together in London. So yeah, good pals.
Good. Sarah Watson is text in there, Charlie. What do you do as part-time in your pastime to relax? But I was going to lead me on, actually. You know, you can be seen maybe in your local farmhouse, I believe, cooking burgers on the barbecue for the passers-by, mate. Again, it's, you know, a testament to what you do for the locals, mate.
Well, look, I shouldn't take the credit for that. My wonderful Debbie had the farm shop in the village, and all I did really was, which takes me on to your question, Sarah. I mean, all I did really was shoot the pheasants and the partridge and the venison, and that's what one of the things I would do through the winter. I'm a game, I love field sports. I love my dogs, so really, Debbie and I spend a lot of time with our dogs. I am a huge horse racing fan, and indeed, I actually rode in a bumper at Wincanton in the year 2000. Not many people know that, and I came second last. Right. So I'm a huge racing man. I ride a lot, and I'm a better rider than I'm an actor, I would say. I used to ride work with Donald McCain, Ginger's son, and yeah. So I suppose country pursuits, I would say, Sarah. But I do like the pub as well, and I love a bit of crack in the pub. And it's about 50 yards that way.
Close to you then, pal.
Yeah, and it's shut, and it's very sad. I have to walk past it every day, and Anyway, it's just the times we're in.
Yeah, but I suppose the area where you are there, Charlie, you know what I mean? You've sort of the privacy of, being on your own when you want to, but you can ultimately engage them with the locals as well, which is nice as well, because I know you enjoy that side of it as well, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much part of the furniture here. I'm Charlie, I'm not Jim or anyone around here, and we've got Wayne and Colleen live just up the road, and there's Robbie Savage is a neighbour, and Freddie Flintoff. So we're all part of the furniture, really, and nobody bothers us or anything like that. It's quite funny, though, when Robbie and Freddie used to come down to the shop for a burger or whatever, and then suddenly people would come into the shop and see Freddie Flintoff, Robbie Savage, and Charlie Lawson, and Noddy Holder, lead singer.
Mate. That's quite a foursome there, mate, to be fair. That's quite a foursome.
Oh, yeah, we had some fun.
I can imagine. All right, I listen to Freddie and talk sport there in the mornings. He's decent. Charlie, you touched on it earlier there in terms of 2018. Obviously, what happened on stage when you're filming Rebus, and to go through that at any time in your life, you know what I mean, and on the stroke, etc. But to do it on stage, on set, that must have been incredibly tough for you personally, and ultimately Debbie and the family, mate.
Yeah, it was an episode and a half. It was extraordinary, and I don't mind saying it took balls of steel to go back on stage after 2 days off, because your nerves are really shot to pieces, and I understood totally why Stephen Fry did what he did years ago, and just sometimes fear can be a very powerful thing, and it took a bit of courage, I'll tell you, don't mind telling you, to get back on stage, but I did, and I finished the other 78 performances. And Debbie, we just turned that down, darling. So yeah, it was an extraordinary.
Debbie making you your steak,
no, she's not. She's yammering on the phone, and so it was an extraordinary time and quite difficult.
Yeah, no, can only imagine, mate. Can only imagine. Tom Mitchell's texting. Tom, how you doing, mate? Good to hear from you. Charlie, thanks for the video for Glenavon for the COVID-19 response team. Absolute legend. So,
pleasure, Tom. Thank you.
I just want to stress again, like so many of the individuals that are doing some fantastic work out there. Certainly, the Glenavon COVID-19 response team have been certainly very active, and a huge well done on what they continue to do within the football club. Charlie, obviously life for Charlie Lawson now, we're talking earlier in terms of, like as all, life will change. Ultimately it will change for us, you know what I mean? And but in terms of, you've still hunger, desire, appetite, you want to still get out there and ultimately attack whatever work comes your way, mate. You still that passion. And where do you foresee yourself maybe moving in different sort of areas of theatre or acting, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've just signed up with John Markham at Markham Associates. He's a Premier League sort of agent, you know what I mean? He's top drawer. Kelly retired last in February and from my other agency. And so I moved to Markham Associates, and John is big in Netflix and all this new stuff that's around. And I know he's itching to get me up for stuff, so I'm hungry to do it, so, but in our business, sometimes you have, you take what's around, and after we've had this fallow period,
Yeah.
Who knows what next year is going to bring? I really couldn't say. And you'd be an idiot to try and second guess it. But I know I'm hungry to work, Brian.
Yeah, because that's
always will be.
Yeah, because that's one thing I find about you, Charlie. You know what I mean. You've always had that hunger. You know what I mean. And I think it's just you touched there that you finished all the Rebus shows whenever you did take. I remember speaking to you a short time after that, and you were adamant, "I want to finish this. I want to finish it." And I know that's that's what's in you, but that appetite maybe not be in other individuals. So I suppose you've always had that drive to kick on, to be the best that you can, which ultimately has seen you act in some top shows.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite good, Brian.
Yeah, you're decent, to be fair. You're decent, mate. Decent.
Well, that kind of helps, and people want me to work for them, so
Yeah.
so that's great. And I will just keep doing it until I fall over in the saddle, so to speak. You know what I mean? Actors don't retire. You know what I mean? We just carry on going and we kick the bucket.
Yeah.
Long may it continue.
Yeah. Well, look, Charlie, we've been going 26 minutes, man. I just want to thank you for tonight. You've been always incredibly engaging, and I just want to thank for your time tonight and for your honesty and your openness as always. You're a different class, and I always enjoy the chats that we have. And thank you so much indeed for coming on tonight on a Thursday night out of your own personal time, you and Debbie. It's massively appreciated. Thank you so much indeed.
That's a pleasure. And listen, all my best wishes to everybody back home. And I mean that, everybody back home. I can't wait to get back and see you all and have a beer.
Yeah. Charlie, chat man, I'll keep in touch with you, all right, bro? God bless you, mate.
Cheers, fella. All the best. God bless.
Chat man, see you soon. Bye, mate. Bye, mate. So thank you very much indeed, folks, for tuning in tonight. We are back tomorrow night. We have Newcastle United favourites Lee Clark and current Newcastle United midfielder Sean Longstaff joining us on the show. Please, again, you can bounce on the YouTube channel tonight for any podcasts that you may have missed over the last number of weeks. We will see you tomorrow night, 7:30, on Experience Epic Facebook Live. Thank you very much. Take care. God bless.